Hey, what's up, cats and kittens? And shout out to all my cerebralites. And I do mean all, even you, the hater, sitting in the peanut gallery. Yes, and talking to you too. It's me, the Cerebral Diva. I'm back with another episode of RealiTEA, and that's TEA because I give it to you scalding hot. So grab your cups, grab your saucers, and gather round, people, and let's all partake in this libation of love and hip hop Atlanta tea. I hope you guys are thirsty because we're about to get into it today. Before you go another further, do yourself a favor. But wait, don't just do you a favor. Do me a favor too. Hit that subscribe button. And while you're hitting that subscribe button, make sure you also hit that alert button, that little tiny bell that you see. Hit that so that you can stay in the loop. All right, so now we have all of that out of the way. Let's talk about what we're here to talk about. And that's Joseline, the Puerto Rican princess. I know that's a horrible Spanish accent. Don't judge me. Don't come to my channel and judge me. Go someplace else and do all that judging. Anyhow, Joseline, let me stop, and Stevie J are at it once again. These two, what are we going to do with Stevie J and Joseline at this point? What are we going to do? Apparently, they can't stay away from each other. They can't keep their hands off of each other. What do we do? Do we just put them in a padded room? Do we put them in a cage match and let them go at it? Like, what do we do at this point? So, the reason we're talking about Stevie J and Joseline is twofold. Okay, so I was watching the Wendy Williams show, which is pretty much a daily occurrence in my house. It's almost like a religious experience in my house. So I'm watching the Wendy Williams show, and she's talking about the fact that Stevie J and Joseline were scheduled to appear on her show, but for whatever reason, they called at midnight the night before their appearance and said that, hey, we won't be able to make it. And then they amended that and turned around and said, okay, we can make it, but the two of us are at odds, and if you want to sit here on your show, we're going to have to do our own individual segments because we are not adult enough and we're not about our money enough to put our issues aside and get this money. So you're going to have to give us both our individual segments. Wendy was like, no. If you're on my show, it's going to be on my terms and my conditions. So either you do it my way or, enjoy Atlanta. So having said that, the two of them headed back to Atlanta. So apparently there was a precursor to, and I guess the entire history of their relationship is actually a precursor to the drama because these two are just, I don't know, like all of us have that friend. Like, and if you don't have that friend, chances are you are that friend that is with that no good man, that no good Negro that you look at and you're like, girl, what are you doing? Why are you with him? He's never going to change. And you see it and you time after time you support her and she's, girl, I'm not going back. Girl, I'm done. Girl, I'm through. Girl, I'm sick of him, girl. And then you look up a week or two later and guess what? They're holding hands. And all you can do is just shake your head because that's your homegirl. So it's not like you're going to stop talking to her. But at some point, I'll tell you guys a really quick story, right? I had this friend and she was dating this guy who was, I'm telling you, if I checked his DNA, I know he was part canine. This dude was a complete dog. And he was not just a dog. He was the type of dog that would dog her in her face. I mean, like, he would just blatantly talk to other girls and she would be right there acting like she didn't have a backbone, and it would piss me off. And because that was my friend, I would get pissed off at him on her behalf because she wasn't getting pissed off. And then he and I would hate this dude. At this point, I owned an apartment building and she stayed in one of the units in my apartment building. So he would come over to my building, and because I was the owner of the property, I'd be like, no, he's not allowed on the premises. This dude is 86. I just didn't like the dude because I loved my friend and I hate seeing him make a fool of her. So one day, I think I was having a barbecue or something, and she was like, do you mind if he comes over? And I was like, absolutely, I do. Not just because I don't like him, but because sometimes those dramatic couples have a tendency to spoil the mood for everyone. And if I'm having a barbecue, I want to have a good time. I want to laugh. I want to chill. I want to go back down memory lane and enjoy my time with my friends. And I didn't need their drama sort of filtering over into the good time that I wanted to have. So I was like, no, I don't want him here. And then at some point, I thought to myself, this man has never done anything to you. Everything wrong that he's done to her. And she keeps allowing him to do it. So why do you have an issue with him? If she wants to be a fool, my mother used to always tell me, if you like it, I love it. And in that moment, I realized I don't really care if he comes. And so he and I, we were never cool. We were never friends, but we did get to the point where we were able to be cordial because I realized that she was complicit in being made a fool of, and she enjoyed it. So this is kind of the dynamic that I see between Stevie J and Joseline. She keeps going back to this man over and over and over again. If you saw a clip from the baby special, you know, she had the baby and she was super emotional after she had the baby, and she called him up and she was crying, and that's understandable. But the baby's a couple months old, so you should be returning back to your senses at this point. So now there's a story coming out that on May 10th, at the Season 52 restaurant in Atlanta, the two of them had another altercation. According to the police report, Joseline flew into a rage when Stevie tried to back out of a meeting they planned with his lawyer. He accused her of being in a hostile mood. Now, it sounds like to me like Joseline wanted, this had to have been about money. Because Joseline, while I judge her for continuously going back to him, she's definitely not a dumb woman, so I'm pretty sure she's trying to make sure that Bonnie Bell is provided for long term. So Stevie J is claiming that when he got up to leave, Joseline grabbed a bowl off the table with about 6 to 8 very hot mushrooms that were ready to be served, and she hurled the bowl in his direction. And then Stevie's lawyer called the police. Now here's the thing. See, this is why I think Stevie has been a little hyperbolic. Because if you're a foodie such as myself, if you cook, one thing that you know is mushrooms don't hold their heat for very long. Like, if she had a pot of grits, then Stevie might have a claim. Because, you know, I'm from the Al Green school. My mom used to always tell me the story about Al Green and the pot of grits. And those of you who are from that era know exactly what I'm talking about. So, if she had hurled a pot of grits at Stevie, or a pot of hot oil, or a pot of boiling water, any of those things that maintain their temperature, then I get it. But first of all, mushrooms are going to, they're not a mass, you know, they're not going to maintain a large mass. They're going to separate midair, and as they're flying through the air is going to cool them off. So by the time they touch your skin, unless they're like in a soup or a hot oil, the mushrooms aren't going to be very hot at all. So I think Stevie is really blowing that part out of proportion. Now, several restaurant employees told cops that they witnessed this abuse and added that Joseline's behavior scared them and scared other patrons. Now, I do believe that part because Joseline is a bull. When she gets angry, when she gets upset, she can definitely be intimidating. So I do believe that part. But I think Joseline needs to be smarter. At this point, you have a child. There is a child. You have a daughter to raise. And Bonnie Bell's really young right now, so a lot of this stuff she probably won't remember. But you don't want your child growing up, you know, with memories of her mom and dad constantly at violent odds, because it's the difference between having disagreements. Everyone has disagreements, but when you're throwing bowls and plates, like, you don't want to teach that behavior to your daughter. So I really hope that the two of them at some point just realize that they just don't belong together and go their separate ways. So that's about it, you guys, for this episode of RealiTEA. Definitely comment below. If you've had that crazy friend or that dumb friend who keeps going back to the dude that you know is no good, comment below. I want to hear some of your stories as well. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and please share if you feel so inclined. If you don't, then that's fine by me as well. Remember to follow me across all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. And as always, in closing, remember to live better, love harder, and think smarter. As always, it's me, the Cerebral Diva, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a fantastic day.